once again from Kim's Homestead in Victoria, Australia. I hope I'm finding you all well and safe after the Christmas and New Year break. So today I'm going to be bringing you a video from my kitchen again, and we're going to be making tripe. Little fun fact, did you know that seafood extender is actually made from tripe? There you go. If you didn't know, you do now, and if you knew, clever you. Anyway, so I was able to get hold of some tripe. Yes, I know some of you are saying, ugh. And trust me, when I was growing up, I thought the same thing. But I learned how to cook it properly, and since then, I absolutely love it. So, what I'm going to do is show you what I have, and then we'll be cooking it together. Okay, so here we go. We have a container of tripe, some salt, some fresh parsley I just picked from the garden, obviously a chopping board and a nice sharp knife, and a spoon to stir it, and a nice pot that's a little over halfway with some fresh water. Now what I'll also be using is some milk and some onions and a little bit of corn flour. If you can't use corn flour, try arrowroot or tapioca flour. So first of all, we're going to be chopping this tripe into bite-sized pieces. Tripe is one of those things that really you either love it or you hate it. So as I said, until I learned how it was cooked properly, I didn't like it. I would have rather have eaten an old boot. The trick with tripe is to cook it nice and long and slow. That's what makes it nice and tender. And just like calamari, you finish it off by cooking it in milk. And that makes it really tender. Now it's currently 4 o'clock, so when I put this on, it will go on to a medium boil for about 2 hours, and then finished off. That should only take probably another half an hour. And I've left another half an hour in the time just in case. Now I'm not going to be putting salt in it to begin with. The salt will actually make it tough. So the salt will actually be going in at the last minute. Okay. So there we are, all chopped up in the pot of water. Make sure you've got plenty of water in there. We don't want it to dry out, and we certainly don't want it burnt. There's nothing worse than burnt tripe, except maybe burnt jam. So, put this on a medium boil for about 2 hours, and I'll be back. Well guys, this has been happily bubbling away for the last couple of hours, and it should be nice and almost ready. Certainly starting to smell nice anyway. So what we're going to do is drain it out, and I do save the water because that's an excellent source of vitamins and protein for the chooks. And I'll just put that to one side to cool, and it'll go into their chook bucket. Right, so that leaves us with the tripe in the pot. So what I will do now is I'm going to add quite a lot of chopped onions. Now these are from my own garden that I've chopped up and frozen. These are last year's onions. Yep, a lot can go in. That gets washed and saved. Okay, so now I have some milk. This is just long life milk. This is the main milk that I use. Put a fair amount in. There's probably 3 cups worth in there, roughly. You've got to make sure that it doesn't boil dry, especially at this point, because milk will boil over very quickly. So please do be careful. And now is when we can add the salt. And I'm putting in probably not quite half of a teaspoon of salt to begin with. And I'll salt and pepper it more as we go along. Now at this point I can also add some of the parsley. God, it sucks getting old, I can tell you that. You lose your mind. And yeah, I'll leave that one for garnish. Now, I did have a knife around here somewhere. that'll do. Cut out any of the stalks. And I'll just cut this up fine. So basically what I'm going to do now is a onion and parsley sauce, white sauce, but at the moment I'm not putting in the thickener because I want that tripe to finish cooking in the milk and infusing all this flavour into it. Right, so what we're left with is a nice white sauce with parsley. So this will go back onto the stove. It is now almost 6:15. So this will go back on the stove just on a very light simmer for the next half an hour, and then I'll be ready to thicken it and dish it up. Well, instead of having the tripe on its own, I thought I would have a few vegetables with it. So I think I'm just going to do mashed potato and carrot. And there we go. Bit of carrot, bit of mash. Beautiful. And here we are, ready with the next step. So we've just taken the pot off the stove steam out away from you at all times. Give it a bit of a stir. Now for the thickener. Here I have corn flour, and I'm just putting it in a little bit of milk. Mix that in or dissolve it. And I'll just pour that in. And it's already starting to thicken. Okay, I'll just put this off to one side. Put the lid back on. And we'll get the vegetables. Right, here I have the potatoes. And the carrots. Okay, so put in a little bit of butter. Some black pepper, and some milk. Just very simple, very plain. think I'll put this on the stove to thicken up a bit more. Okay, that's thickened up a fair bit now. And I think it's time to do a bit of a taste test. So we'll make sure we get some tripe. Needs a little bit more salt. Oops. And some pepper. And there we go. Tripe, mashed potatoes and carrots. Very easy, very simple, extremely nutritious and cheap to boot. So if you've only ever had tripe that you could honestly replace the soles of your shoes, you're really not doing it properly and you're not doing it any favours. But cooked this way, it is so tender and very, very tasty. Alright, well that's it for tonight. And if you like the videos that I'm bringing to you, please think about liking or maybe subscribe. And I'll catch you with another video later on. Bye guys. No. Going to enjoy this.